So here's the deal. Netflix. Oh my God, I'm in so much trouble. Netflix is cracking down on multiple user accounts. This is where you share your password with a few other people. And I'm probably oversharing. I'm just saying I probably have overshared my password. And in fact, I know that because when Netflix goes on to recommendations about here's some recommendations based on your viewing, I get shows I would never even take money to watch ever. Like the scariest stuff and the most obscure stuff that does not match my watch profile at all. And I completely blame the people who have poached my life.
And now, a whole new way to watch radio. The Dennis George Show. Here's your host, Dennis George.
We're going to get into that once we go around a little bit. I'm just saying. Mitch is in the house.
Hey, and I just got to say my bad.
Yeah, we're going to get back to that in just 1 second.
Run.
Sam is here.
What is up?
Hey, Sam, good morning, good afternoon, and good day.
Yes, happy day.
Happy day.
I am a little sad about the early morning deal with the time change.
Yeah, you know that...
Why do we do this to ourselves?
We're going to talk about that in just 1 second. Let's come back to that, okay? Yeah.
All right.
Debbie's here.
Hi, howdy, everybody.
How are you?
I am doing well, thank you.
Good.
Ooh.
And Denny G is here.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
We're doing pretty good. So let's talk about the Netflix thing, and then we'll talk about the daylight savings deal. So Mitch was kind of raising his hand because I don't want to throw him under the bus, although he already threw himself under the bus. Mitch is one of the people who I think uses my Netflix account some of the time. Is that okay to say?
Yeah,
No.
that's okay to say.
No.
Yeah, do it now.
And Dennis, I raised my hand because I heard that bus coming down the road. There are times where I don't hear the bus,
Yeah.
and I'm just under it like, oh my God.
So
But
how
I
would you
heard that
describe your Netflix watching habits?
I'm looking for a movie that is truly scary.
Yeah.
That's my Netflix habit.
Yeah, and
And
here's the disconnect.
Dennis, you don't do scary.
No, I'm looking for a movie that will not scare me at all. So when I pull up the account for let Netflix recommend or based on your viewing, I'm like, no. I click no. Those are not good suggestions for me at all.
Let's be very clear. Dennis is the type of person that if in a movie the alarm clock goes off, he's officially scared and wants out of the movie.
No, but here's the thing. That's not completely fair. That's a little overstating it. But I will tell you this. If I'm in my house and the phone rings and the scary voice says, get out of the house, I have no problem putting down the phone and getting out of the house. I've said this before. Why people insist in a scary movie to stick around makes no sense to me. There's a guy with an axe in your house and he's chasing you. Run out the front door.
But they don't know. They don't know that he's in the house. And secondly, where do you feel the most comfort in your life? Your house.
Yeah.
So why would you abandon the place that you would feel most comfortable?
It's just a movie.
We are now
Dude,
going to be.
shut up.
That's the reason-
For our listeners who
The
would like
reason-
to try this on Dennis, his number is 555.
Right. No, but come on. There are some scary movies where it just keeps going and going and going. And at some point, take the exit. What are you doing? Like, get yourself out of the situation. And they don't do it. I'm like, that makes no sense to me. I'd be out.
So Mitch, are you looking for psychologically scary or are you looking for bloodbath?
Yes.
Or both?
Psychologically scared. Like,
Right.
Yes.
Like both.
I don't enjoy the Saw movies. All right.
Thank
I
God.
don't. That's
But
just
wait.
gore for
But,
gore.
but Your Honor, have Mitch ask the question. Has he watched the Saw movies?
Yes.
See?
The
So
first
here's
one
the
was
problem.
best.
He has no problem watching stuff he does not enjoy.
Have you ever watched Frankenhooker?
Frankenhooker.
No,
Is that
you
a
should
porn?
try
Don't call me a hooker.
it. No, it's not porn.
Writing that one down.
Mitch is writing it down.
It's one
Great.
of those bad movies that once you start watching it, you got to watch it because it's going to get better. It does not.
And it doesn't.
Actually, a movie that's along the same lines is Killing of a Sacred Deer.
I've not
Have you
seen that one.
ever seen it?
Oh, it's awful.
I mean, who's in it? It's Nicole Kidman. Is it Robert Downey Jr. in it?
I don't know. It was just.
I can't
so
remember, but
painful.
it's awkward. It's intentionally awkward,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's kind of. I'm guessing it's very much like your Frankenhooker movie. It's a little bit of a thriller.
You're Denny G's Frankenhooker movie. That should be the full title of the movie, by the way. Denny G's Frankenhooker movie.
Frankenhooker movie. Yeah.
40%, Netflix says, 40% of people on Netflix share their account with other people who are not in their household.
Well, one of the things that they're going to catch people on, they're probably doing it through their IP addresses, but by the accounts they have or the profiles they have on their Netflix. How many do you have,
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly the way I read an article in Wired magazine about 2 years ago that an insider at Netflix said that that's exactly the way they're going to catch people is when people were allowed to start creating their own profiles. So I did
Right.
serendipitously tell everyone I shared my account with, do not create your own profile. So
Yeah, and
because
there's still a workaround to it because you just have to, like, every time that it starts asking, like, for you to re-log in or whatever, then you just have to have the other person on the phone because it's going to send them a code.
Right. Yeah, they're going to have to reauthorize themselves or something strange.
Has that
And I
happened
mean-
recently to you?
No, but they did roll that out across. They're testing it right now. They're beta testing
Right.
Uh-huh.
the reauthorization code for some people to see how it might work.
Is the code an easy code or is it
Yeah.
like an authentication?
It's an authentication that you have to be on your computer. You got to
Okay.
log in to Netflix on your computer. It'll send you an authorization code that you got to key in.
Oh yeah. Okay. Is it like
So it goes
6
through
digits? Is it 20 digits, 5 digits?
Nah,
Something
no, it'll be
easy?
just like when you have to activate a cable channel on your smart TV.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be like a 6-digit code, but they're going to send it to the primary holder's email
course.
address so that
Right.
when people over the course of years have shared their accounts with other people who
Right.
they're not associated with anymore, it's going to filter out all that as well. Apparently,
Netflix needs to do what like the Concorde did back in the day. Like when Concorde was flying,
Crash?
it was actually no,
okay,
it was about to go bankrupt, and they found out that most people who were traveling on Concorde were business individuals who actually weren't booking their flights. They had secretaries booking their flights, and they asked them, how much do you think you're paying for this?
yeah,
And it turns out that the executives thought they were paying literally 4 times less than
Right.
what they actually were paying. Like they were paying like $2,000 a ticket, and the executives thought they were paying $8,000 a ticket. And an $8,000 ticket, Concorde could actually make money. And so they were like, well, clearly our clients are fine with paying $8,000 a ticket, so we'll up the price.
right.
So
Yeah,
they
it's
need to do
interesting.
something like that because I mean, I'll pay more for a shared account.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, listener Tony L has written us, and Tony was rather inquisitive about Debbie's surroundings. His first question, and I put this in the show in the beginning because I want to explain this. So if you, and by the way, thank you all for watching the show. Over 50,000 people last week, so really a lot of watchers. So thank you.
Nice.
And if you're listening on podcast, you can always go to YouTube to actually watch the show as well. For those of you on the pod, you can't see her background, but she's apparently according to Tony, apparently we've locked her in a closet of some sort. So Tony L, his first question to Debbie is, are you locked
We're
in
gonna
a closet?
apologize to Debbie
Are you safe?
right away.
Are you safe?
Tony, this is your fault.
the question is,
But
are
we
you
like the email.
Are you safe where you are? And do you need help? Was the first question.
Well, Tony, let me start by saying I truly appreciate your concern for me. And this is why they have to apologize to me every week, because they lock me in this room to do this podcast. It's awful, but they do let me out after we're done. No, I'm totally kidding. It's a
We
sort
don't
of a
let her out.
We do have food in there though.
Well, we're gonna Sam. Hang on, Sam. We're gonna talk about that in a minute.
It's the
Okay.
it's an additional room on that was added onto my house before I bought it. So it's part of the house that I bought. But
Is
it's
it a panic room?
It is not a panic room, no.
Okay.
Is it a dungeon?
So no, it is not a dungeon.
We'll apologize to Debbie times 2.
Anyways, I had some technical difficulties when I was actually in a different room in my house, so I moved closer to the router in hopes to avoid that. And to be honest with you, I work on a computer 7 days a it's not recently it has been 7 days a week, but I work on a computer for work. And so the last thing I want to do is mess around with computers on my off time. So I have not taken, and I'll apologize to my brother right now because I know he's probably scratching his head going, Deb, why are you not fixing this? But that is why I am in this room. And it's not my ideal setting. Let's be 1,000% honest, but this is
Okay,
where
a couple other questions from Tony for you. He wants to know, is that cereal behind you? And if so, what kind of cereal is it?
those two boxes, yes, they are cereal and
Okay.
they are Golden Grams. And it's because I make a treat for volleyball when I play tournaments called,
Okay.
we just call it Golden Graham treat.
We have a whole long list, so I got to keep you moving here.
Keep
The
going.
next question, his concern was, he's concerned about the flowers behind you.
They're
He
plastic.
wants to know if they get enough water.
They're plastic.
Also sunlight, he was worried about.
They're plastic.
They're plastic. Okay. And then he asked about the gumball machine. Now, you and I've talked about the gumball machine.
What's the
And
gumball
I've
machine?
looked in your background to try to find the gumball machine. We speculated that maybe it's the coffee maker or,
Potentially
Or-
this coffee maker.
but do you have a gumball machine in there?
I do not have a gumball machine.
Okay.
Is it the
Not in here
orb
or
that's-
anywhere else in my house.
Okay.
Is it that orb that's above the flowers?
This one that's up here,
Yeah.
that one up there, that actually is a top to a light that is an outdoor light.
Yeah, sconce of some sort. Yeah. I find it, thank you, Tony, by the way. I find it very
Thank you.
interesting that
Thank you for your
he's,
concern, Tony.
he's not the
I think
first.
this is the perfect room because she has ability to make coffee. She has ability to make alcohol and
Right.
she has food in there. I think this
So-
is a great location. It is kind of a panic room.
Yeah.
For
No,
our,
it's true.
For our listeners, that object that's above Debbie, that's gray and green. Is that gray? No, that's beige and green.
Beige and
That's what we
green.
call a
That's gold.
Margaritaville. Other side.
This
That
one.
one. Yeah.
That's
That's
the
for
cover.
Margaritaville.
The
all right?
Margaritaville is inside.
That will make the most amazing margaritas ever.
I think we will
She's
do a show.
fine.
I think we will do a show where Debbie will make margaritas on the show. I think we have to do that. Maybe as our celebration to summer comes in. Earlier, Sam was asking us about daylight savings. Most countries actually
Why?
do observe daylight savings. There are some countries, and even, for example, the state of Hawaii doesn't observe daylight savings.
Those are
Countries
smart.
countries that are closer to the equator don't typically observe it because the sun comes up and sets the same time every day near the equator. But
What?
there are, well, I
This
I
kind of
read,
goes back to the last episode.
let's be very clear.
Oh, sorry.
Let's be very clear. I did not know this. I had to research it. Let me just be very
I was
clear.
about to ask, Dennis, why does the sun come up and
Nope,
set?
nope, not
you
gonna
explain
do it.
the science behind.
Nope,
Yeah.
not
How
gonna
does
do it.
that work exactly?
All the times you've been to Mexico, you never noticed that?
I did notice that, but I didn't correlate it with daylight savings.
It was just a phenomenon.
So
It's not equated to daylight savings. It's equated to the fact that it's near the equator.
I'm cutting you all off. The point is,
That the earth goes around the sun.
the point is we all have to celebrate daylight savings. Well, celebrate's the wrong word. So
Indoors.
This-
Sure.
Observe.
yeah, so this past week, most of you had to observe losing an hour of sleep or whatever else you do at 2 a.m. your time. So that's what's going on there. Hey, this will blow your mind. Well, it blew my mind anyway. A new website I found. Y'all are gonna please don't make
Oh
fun of me.
God, your
Um,
poor computer.
Earth
We're gonna
Sky-
apologize to your computer.
earthsky.org, by the way, is a fantastic website. Will teach you everything you need to know about the Earth and the planets and the solar system. And by the way, the biggest known asteroid will pass Earth in 2021 on March 21st. So asteroid 2001 FO32 is estimated to be about 0.6 miles in diameter, not quite as long as the Golden Gate Bridge. But they say there's no risk of impact. I had to double check that part because apparently the space rock is hurling towards us at 76,000 miles per hour.
Happens all the time.
It does happen all the time. However, because this has been one of the fastest asteroids known to us, so it's going to come by really, really fast. What made me a little more nervous than normal is they have a list on Earth's. Y'all are laughing at me already.
No,
They have a
I'm
list-
laughing at
Of course we
Sam
are.
because he's
Hang
a
on.
5-year-old.
Hang on. They have a list on earthsky.org, and on the list is potentially hazardous asteroids, and it's listed as one of their potentially hazardous asteroids.
OMG.
So it actually is listed by NASA as potentially hazardous. It could veer off course and it could hit us. So I'm a
Dennis, you
little
should
concerned.
probably go straight to your basement, lock yourself in there, and never leave because everything is clearly going to scare the living shit out of you. I apologize for my language.
Yep. So I'm just saying.
Let's start drinking.
I agree with Sam. Yeah,
March
I agree with
21st.
Sam. All right, bringing a perfect correlation back to Netflix. All right, if that article did not have the words "zero risk of impact to Earth," Dennis would be doing the show from his basement, surrounded. He would be the one with the canned goods. This
He wouldn't
week.
even be here.
Well, then
He wouldn't
listen.
be here.
If it's not scary, if it's not dangerous, why do they have to put it on the list? Potentially hazardous asteroid. Why have that list? And why have those words?
Why do you have a search engine on your computer? It's just the way it is.
No, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. So March 21st, let's all pay attention. By the way, that's this coming Sunday. So I think we just need to all be somewhat careful about this.
Oh my
And
god,
outside
it's
and
probably
look
like
up.
the year 2000.
Yeah.
Be careful about what?
It
It's not
is.
like
Wait,
it's not
wait,
like
wait,
wet
wait,
paint
wait.
we can't step on.
Wait.
I got the exact time too, if you
So
want to know.
Dennis,
Yeah.
so Dennis, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Exactly how do you want us
To prepare.
to prepare for an
Right.
asteroid over which we have no control, and no matter what happens, we just have to deal with whatever the outcome is?
A helmet-
How do you want us
A
to
helmet and
He
leg
wants the
pads.
Armageddon moment.
A helmet.
The
yes,
movie
The
kind.
dinosaur. I want the dinosaur making its way along the hills.
What dinosaur?
What are you talking
Talking
about?
about.
From the Mitch knows. From the movie Armageddon, he has a little dinosaur, and the little dinosaur.
Oh my god. What's under
What
here?
dinosaurs are in Armageddon?
No, he's got the little toy dinosaur.
Little
Never
toy
mind.
dinosaur.
Animal crackers. Animal crackers.
Animal
It was
crackers
not a
with the going
dinosaur.
down
It was
south
not a
to the
dinosaur. It was an
Atlantic.
animal cracker.
Dinosaur animal
It was
cracker.
no, it was not. No, it was
It
not.
was a giraffe.
No, it was not a giraffe. It was a tiger. It was a tiger.
He's a
Fine.
tiger.
Fine.
Guess
want
who's getting animal crackers delivered this week?
We're gonna apologize to Animal Crackers. We're gonna apologize to
I'm-
Armageddon the movie.
We're gonna apologize to the Earth.
I'm one clicking. I'm one clicking animal crackers.
Well, they are good.
That's happening. I'm telling you, that is happening. Anyway, earthsky.org is pretty cool, by the way. You can find out what's in the sky tonight. You can find out what to look at up in the sky. And it
Stars.
will, it will really freak you out. We've got a great show
Is
for you.
this that? Is that an app? What's the
No,
app called?
they might have an app, but it's a
They
website.
do have an app. One of my clients was telling me about a crazy cool app that you can literally like look at a star and it'll tell you exactly its name, its origin, and all of that kind of stuff. I've been trying to figure out what that website
That's
is.
cool.
Sorry.
Yeah, it probably is earthsky.org.
I'll work on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it probably is. March 21st at 16:03 UTC.
Already on.
Yep, I'm just saying. I'm saying get a helmet.
1623.
Get a helmet.
1603 UTC. So
Get
that'd
it.
be
Get it, helmet.
10 o'clock here.
Get a helmet and some leg pads. I'm just saying.
I'll wear a helmet next
What are
show.
leg pads?
Football leg pads. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh my God,
guards?
move on, Dennis. Move
Yeah.
on. Move on. What are we doing next?
Okay, all right, fine. We've got a great show for you. Debbie's top 10 list. This is this is a great list. Top 10 bad decisions movie characters have made. This is a great list. This is a really good list. Weird people. New York woman finds an entire apartment behind her mirror.
Pretty
That's
scary.
a great story. And of course, all of you buried us in listener email about the Royals. So stick around. We're gonna be. We asked for it, and you
Of
responded.
course.
Right. We will be right back.
Dennis George Show continues after this.
Hey everyone, I just want to talk to you real quick about something I've been working on lately. It's called the Michelle Obama Podcast. I can't wait for you to listen. In this first season, I'm going to be talking with some of the people I'm closest with. My mom, my brother, my friends, my colleagues, and many others. We'll be discussing the relationships that make us who we are. We'll be talking about the challenges and the joys of being a parent or a spouse, the friendships that help us through the toughest times, or the growth we experience when we lean on the colleagues and mentors around us. What I love about these conversations is that they're topics and issues that we're all dealing with no matter what's going on. Whether that's a global pandemic or a nationwide reckoning with race. My hope is that this podcast can be a place for us to sort through the questions that we're all trying to answer, a place to open up and be a little vulnerable and have some fun along the way. And most importantly, I hope this podcast sparks ideas and topics that you can open up with within your own circles. Maybe it'll inspire you to have some conversations with loved ones that you've been meaning to have. So, I hope you'll join me for the Michelle Obama Podcast. Episodes start July 29th. Listen for free only on Spotify.
The views expressed on Dennis George Show
Are not our own or anyone else's.
Listen at your own risk, and we cannot be held responsible for your ears burning, bleeding, or ringing, or the blurred eyesight.
some things you will not be able to unhear or unsee, and for that,
You are warned.
Do not try anything we suggest or talk about at home, work, or in your car.
A reminder, there are no rules, and our show is intended for mature audience only.
or at a minimum,
Those over your state's or country's legal age of consent.
Any experiments
Jobs, skills, or sexual positions suggested
and or recommended
are for comedy purposes only and should not be tried without supervision.
or a spotter.
safety word or phrase,
Is recommended in advance of trying anything
Any
new.
medical advice
or comments that seem like medical advice,
should be reviewed with your own doctor.
or at least.
Check it on Google like we did.
Thank you and good luck.
And now, back to the Dennis George Show.
So a woman in New York, this is some weird people news. A woman in New York felt, a lot of people have medicine cabinets in their bathroom. So it's a mirror, and then you open the mirror up, and behind it is a medicine cabinet with some shelves, and you can put on it, your aspirin and your toothpaste and whatever, right? So most folks have that in their bathrooms. And a woman in New York for a fair amount of time had always been feeling cold air coming from behind the mirror. And in fact, in the summertime, it was much more obvious to her. So most recently, she felt just this cold draft coming from behind her mirror. She couldn't figure it out. And so finally, her and a friend decided to investigate it. And they got very bold, and they started to remove the medicine cabinet from her wall. And when they removed it, it was a cutout, so it was not mounted on the wall. It was mounted flush into the wall. And when they removed it, they were able to shine a light into the hole, which was, of course, the size of a small window, which took place in the medicine cabinet. And they shined a light in there. She found an entire vacant apartment behind her bathroom. So that no one was living in. It was completely empty, completely creepy. So she chronicled her discovery in a series of TikTok videos. She lives in New York City, Roosevelt Island, and she It's pretty amazing. So she climbs through the hole. The video shows her climbing through the hole, which was difficult, but she managed to do it.
Was the
And-
hole the same size as on the other side of the wall?
Yeah. So there was it wasn't a double hole. It was just a sheet of drywall, and then there was no drywall behind that. So it was just she literally climbed into this apartment.
Our rent's gonna go up.
Yeah, so she was obviously as she's climbing into this, you can kind of see the fear in her and her person helping her who's videotaping this, and she's got a light and all that, and she's nervous because she's entering this space that's dark. She has no idea what's behind there, and so we have put the video on our Facebook page, Dennis George Show. But the entire area was a unfinished apartment.
So it's kind of like the movie Candyman, which Dennis won't
Won't watch.
understand this or won't watch, but there is a part of a horror film, Dennis, where they find out that there's a whole another apartment on the other side, and it's called Candyman.
Was there someone living in there or doing creepy things?
You shouldn't watch it. You'll be scared to death.
Don't.
Okay.
Just don't. Just
Yeah,
don't.
don't.
Ask questions. Just don't.
Okay.
walk
Just
away.
don't.
Fair
Just
enough.
don't. But that's something that listeners can envision.
Yeah. So it's kind of crazy though. Whole apartment. Now, what's interesting in New York, where real estate prices are really high and apartments go really expensive,
Right.
it's kind of surprising there'd be this entire vacant apartment that she says has probably been vacant for years, given the amount of dust and there's just no activity there. It's just this.
Well, and who owns that building? Like, how do you
Yeah.
how do
How
you
do you
not know?
Not know.
Well, if
footprint
the
of the
building is
building?
sold, maybe the building is sold and changed hands, and no one knew it was there. It got boarded up or
Did
whatever.
you clearly not walk through the property that you were going to buy?
Right. She contacted her maintenance and owner, obviously, and they were going to investigate this week to try to figure
I
out
would
what was
not be
going on.
contacting anybody. I would be refinishing that
Oh yeah.
Making a
I just
hallway
take over the space.
and using the space. And I would be like, no, never want to move from this place because that's going to be the cheapest rent in the amount of square footage that she would have gotten.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And when she's got like 3 kids, and the super's like, "How are you fitting yourself, your husband, or your spouse, and 3 kids in that place?"
Right.
We're awesome.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe there was a mirror from the opposing, maybe that opening was for a medicine cabinet from the other apartment and it just hadn't
Right.
been installed.
Sure.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
possible.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
they maybe
absolutely.
share the same void between two apartments.
Right.
No,
So
there's
did
some of
they-
those medicine cabinets used to have little slits in the back of them to drop razor blades through.
Oh, like they'd go into a little trash bin type thing.
No, they just go down into between the wall because there's nothing down, right? It's just the
Ew.
framing of the
I think
house.
that's what it was meant for, Denny G. I think that's what you used it for, but I don't
No.
think that's what it was meant
No,
for.
that's
I
just what
think
it
it
was
was
meant
just
for.
for ventilation.
No, there's slits about the width of a razor blade, and they're
Doesn't
very
mean it's
thin,
meant
and you just
for it.
slide. That's what it was meant for.
You think someone designed a mirror that was intentional for you to put your dirty razor blades in the wall?
To
The back-
fill-
not the
to
mirror,
fill
not the mirror. When
space.
you open the mirror up in the back of the medicine cabinet against the back face, there'd be a little slit in the bottom.
I understand.
Couple of that was
Where do the
intentionally
razor
put
blades
there.
go then?
They just
In the
fall.
wall.
Think about the end of the wall.
That's my point.
Yes.
That is so
What's going-
dangerous. Like
there's not
Not
everybody.
Why is
dangerous.
it
What's dangerous
dangerous?
about that?
That's
There's no
terrible.
one going
If
into the
somebody
wall.
was going to try to kill you, they clearly would just put a bomb outside your bathroom because all the razor blades would come through the wall and kill you.
I love
why
our
you
Maybe
don't
the
live on the
bomb would
first
kill you.
floor.
I love our show.
It's an interesting train of thought we got going on. here.
That's fantastic.
It's very
Yeah.
dangerous.
Well, the asteroid is going to get you next week anyway. So what difference?
Doesn't matter. A week from today, we're all gone.
So live a little. Throw a razor blade down that hole.
Right. So
I used to do
Samantha's
that.
found
I
a.
used to use those.
So
I'll bet you did. Yeah.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So did they find a door to that apartment?
No. Well, yeah. There is a door, but it's boarded up. Yeah. Or
Oh,
she locked. She wanted to make sure it was locked. They didn't really go into detail about where that door goes, but the impression I
Yeah.
got from reading the article and seeing the videos was you couldn't use that door. She still made sure.
interesting.
She still made sure it was locked and closed up so no one could get in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
very
interesting.
good.
What are these genealogy services? There's 23andMe, and what are the other? What's the other big one?
Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com.
Yeah.
Yep. So a North
There's some
Carolina
other ones.
woman who was adopted as an infant has discovered through genealogical sleuthing that her biological father is one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives. Like he's actually on the current FBI's most wanted list. Apparently, this fugitive is wanted for brutally murdering his own mother, his wife, and their 3 sons in 1976.
Oh, wow.
Gilmore, the woman, let's see, I'm trying to. Gilmore said, my information here is kind of choppy, but the one on the list is William Bradford Bishop Jr., who would be 84 today, is still on the run, by the way.
What kind of Father's Day card does that call for?
Right, exactly. Kathy
The
Gilchrist.
razor blade bomb. That's the kind of
Right. Kathy Gilchrist began searching for her biological parents in 2017. So it took her quite a few years, 3 or 4 years, to try to figure out. But apparently there was a match, and she was able to search back through, and then got connected with the FBI and determined that this is who this is. This is Daddy, William Bradford Bishop Jr., who, by the way, remains unknown his whereabouts and should be considered armed and extremely dangerous. And if you know where he is, contact the FBI. That's just would blow your mind. That would just blow my mind. But this is why don't go searching for your parents.
You
Just
did that, didn't you? Didn't you
don't
do a
do it.
genealogical thing?
I did do one. I did the 23andMe, and I was okay. So I was happy with the results, but I was also disappointed at the same time because apparently I'm a mutt. So because what I wanted was results that were like, you're from here.
You wanted to be royal family?
Not necessarily. Not currently. But the thing is, I wanted to go, okay, I'm you want to be like, okay, I'm 60% German and this percent this and that. It doesn't work that way. Like I'm from all over the place. Like it's like
You always are all
Most-
over the place.
right.
That makes
Right.
sense.
Right.
It
My
explains a lot.
family, apparently my family slept around big time because we're part of the genealogy pool of all over Europe. And
Doesn't
I guess
that mean they just traveled a lot, not that they
Gypsies.
slept around a lot?
you don't think, I don't
They
know,
were
Sam.
gypsies.
They were gypsies, gypsy tramps and thieves. So I think they were from all over the place. But yeah,
All
I
at
mean,
the
I
same
liked it.
time.
But I did find out. I was told at a very not young age, but I was told by someone in my family that I was part Cherokee Indian, and that I could actually start claiming that as a what my race was, that I didn't have to check white guy anymore, that I could actually check Native American Indian, and that my heritage was in America and in this land. And I never checked that box. Let's
I
just
totally see it.
Yeah.
Was that person an alcoholic?
that person
they-
was an
Which
alcoholic.
part of you is
Oh.
Cherokee?
The
All
alcoholic
right.
part.
Right, the alcoholic part.
Apologize to Cherokees.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And by the way,
apologize
I
to
would have been
alcoholics.
proud. I would have been proud to be Native American Indian, no doubt about it, for sure.
Mm.
But I'm not. I have no Native American in there. No, it came back with nothing. So that information that my family member gave me was completely incorrect, which I suspected anyway. But
From the alcoholic? That's shocking. Shocking.
yeah, it's
That we
fine.
doubted that.
It's fine. A Seattle woman got more than she bargained for when she bought a crochet kit
Crochet.
Okay.
at a thrift shop and discover a kilo of Coke inside. Coke the drug, not
Oh.
Coke the drink.
Oh,
Uh,
well, that's a present.
yeah. So the woman purchased the croquet.
Shay.
Crochet.
Crochet.
Thanks.
Occasional the thing with the mallets.
Right,
Thank you.
thank you. Crochet in the Seattle Greenwood neighborhood. She contacted immediately the Seattle Police Department, who immediately seized the package. Like, I don't know that I would have called. Like, I would have been like, yeah, maybe we don't call the police about this one. I'm just saying.
Hey,
Make
might
it a little
be,
extra
Why-
money.
could be rice.
You would have tried it out.
and even if it's even if it is Coke, it could be cut with something. You don't know what you can't use it.
That's true. Yeah, you can't use it. That's a good point.
Can't
Like, you
use
can't
it.
sprinkle it on your cereal.
No, you
Yeah.
can't be snubbing. You can't do any of that kind of stuff. You would
No.
normally do
A
with
little
Coke,
bump
no.
won't hurt you.
Well, you don't know what they cut it with. They might have cut it with something.
God, Sam.
Little bump. I'll call you little bump. Instead of it's me, Doug, just put a little bump down there.
And
I'm gonna
Sam,
apologize to Sam
Sam's new nickname is Little Bump.
for my little bump.
And are we
From now
apologizing
on.
to little bumpers as well?
Fantastic.
Little bumper baby.
Street value of this suspicious package that she found, by the way, 2.2 pounds is what kilogram. I had to look that up. Street value is about $20,000. So that's a
She
pretty
should have sold it instead of gave it to the cops.
right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I.
Does she get it back after 30 days?
If no one
It's
claims it, if
illegal.
nobody claims
No,
it.
it's an illegal drug. I don't think they return illegal items to you. That's fantastic, though. Here, ma'am. Here's your AK-47 and your cocaine back. No one
Here-
claimed it. Yeah, that's great.
Here's your bird back.
Oh my God, little
Jesus.
bump. Oh,
Did she
jeez.
get the croquet back?
right? Crochet.
Thank
I don't
you.
even
I
know
was
what-
just making
let's be
sure.
clear.
I was just making sure.
I don't even know what crochet is. Let's just be clear about that.
It's
Isn't
like
it some kind of
knitting,
knitting? Yeah, it's knitting, right?
right, Debbie?
It's like a
Really?
Yes.
You're gonna pin
Really,
this on the
Mitchell?
woman. You're gonna pin
Really?
that on the woman.
It's a type.
Look, Dennis makes a couple comments, and suddenly he's gonna come to jump to my defense.
That's right.
We're gonna
I gotta-
apologize to
I
Debbie
wanna
for the
get
third
that.
time
I want to get
gets
the
because we
hero.
classified crochet as a woman's thing.
I'm shooting for the hero badge this week. I'm
I
just
used to
saying.
crochet
Yeah,
Really?
whenever I was younger.
Is it
Yep.
like knitting or?
it's with yarn. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
with
usually a
yarn.
needle that you
Yeah, the crochet needles are usually the bigger, longer ones because you're working with heavier
Right, and you
material.
use
The yarn that
two
you use
usually.
is
Oh,
bigger.
and people can make mittens and hats.
Mhm. Yes, yes, yes.
Blankets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a friend who actually made me, I had purchased some mittens that had owl faces on them. And
Wow.
so for Christmas that year, he actually crocheted me a scarf that matched my gloves,
Aw.
my little mitten.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And I loved it. We went and picked out the yarn, and yeah, he made my scarf for me. And I
Oh,
loved
that's
it.
cool. You
Yeah.
can pick it out too, so some colors that match.
Yeah,
Very nice.
I actually had them the mittens with me, and we were holding them up with the yarn. So yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, not like croquet, which is the lawn game with the mallets and the.
Gotcha. After the
Oh.
break, Debbie's top 10 list. Stick around.
Find us online at DennisGeorgeShow.com.
Hey there, catch us 24/7 on social media. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Good Pods. On Alexa and Google Assist, say play Dennis George Show podcast.
If you have a question or comment, send us an email at podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. Or if you're just looking for a date. If we read your question or comment on the show, we'll send you a Dennis George Show t-shirt. That's podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. Now back to the show.
And we're back. Debbie's top 10 list. Debbie,
Why such a heavy
well,
sigh?
because this list upset me because I was a number of these movies I've not seen, and yet a number of these movies I will never see because we'll find out in a minute they are scary. I'm just
I
saying.
just can't remember myself.
Scary.
I might have seen half of them. I have to ask somebody, did I see it and did I like it?
right.
So this week's top 10 list is the top 10 things that characters did that still annoy us in the movies.
Hmm.
Number 10, in the movie The Grudge from 2020, when the cop brought her small child to the house and told him to stay in the car. I have not seen The Grudge, so I cannot speak to this one.
I haven't either.
I haven't seen the 2020 version.
Okay, so we'll
No.
move on.
All
Number
right.
9, in Pan's Labyrinth from 2006. And it's one of I think it's an absolutely fantastic movie. And I actually own the disc because I think it's amazing. When Ophelia eats the food after explicitly being told not to eat the food. And I can tell you that is a very maddening, but I mean, to keep storylines moving, they always do things that are not.
Yes.
Don't look in this box.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of like
Right.
wet? Isn't that kind of like a sign that says wet paint? Don't you have to touch it to see if it's wet?
Of
Right.
course.
That's
of
true.
course.
Yeah.
Number 8 from the movie The Purge in 2013, when Charlie let the stranger in the house.
See,
I mean,
I haven't
duh,
seen-
why?
I haven't seen. Oh yeah, I have seen that movie. Mitch made me watch it. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. This is another example. Don't let a stranger in your house. Like this
Danger,
is
danger.
this is basic.
It's very basic.
But he was actually a good person.
That's still a bad idea.
Kids, don't let strangers in your house. Number
Right.
7. Number 7 from the movie My Best Friend's Wedding from 1997, when Jules sends the email to Michael's boss.
Yeah, I was so disappointed. I was
Oh.
just because it was
Moment. I
so
wake
because
up.
she was a heroine for me. Like she was the movie and she was the amazing character you wanted her to be. And then at that point it was just disappointing. I was just
Yeah, she did a lot of things in that movie that just made me go, I want to like you, but I can't like you with the
but
action.
that
scenes.
one was just a turning point for me. I was just like, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Or I put on my makeup.
I say a little
Say a
prayer
little
for
prayer for
you forever,
Forever and ever.
You're welcome.
All right. Number 6 from the
Oh
movie.
wait! I do want to recreate that fish restaurant where they're singing. It's fantastic, and they get the claws.
That's the whole reason to watch the movie.
Absolutely. I think Mitch and I were at a DC restaurant and we had ordered lobster, and we made our lobsters start singing like that. It was fantastic.
No, Dennis, we made our lobsters start fighting each other.
That's true too. It was fine.
And this
The
is why
alcohol
we
was
can't-
involved.
There was a little alcohol involved. It's true.
This is why we can't take you all anywhere. This is
It's
why
for
we're not
have
allowed
nice
out in
things.
public, which is why
Everyone
we're all
did
in our
stop.
own group.
Everyone did stop and look at us, but it was fine.
It was awesome.
It was fine.
All right, number 6 from the movie The Devil Wears Prada from 2006, when Andy quits her job at Runway.
Oh, see, I disagree with that. Like, I think that was completely right. Like, that was the point of the movie was she's going to move on. She's quitting. She's not going to
This is
become.
not-
I'm sure that's
It's
the
not who
point of
she
the
wants
movie.
to be. This is
Yeah.
not what she wants to be. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
with you.
she's not going to become
Miranda.
Miranda. Thank you. She's
Oh,
not
is this
going
Anne
to.
Hathaway?
You ever,
Yeah.
So that person is Anne Hathaway in a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy.
Dennis, how did you ever watch that movie? It's got the word devil in the title. You probably thought it was
know.
scary.
He
It's
got
good.
better
also
whenever it
has
said Prada.
Someone else. Someone else put it on, and I didn't realize till we started to get into it, and it was not a scary movie. But you're right. I probably would not have watched that normally. You're completely right.
I love that movie so much. It's my favorite when she's like, it's just Reveline.
Right.
Gird your loins.
And the hurricane's
And
blowing by the
palm trees,
window. Right. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
a,
think the heavy stuff's going to come down for quite some time.
right, it's a great movie.
All right, number 5 from the movie Aladdin from 1992, when Abu tries to steal the ruby.
I've not
Didn't
seen it.
He's a well, shocking. You haven't seen a Disney movie.
It was
Right.
too scary.
Not
That
true.
part actually is. It probably would freak him out. Let's be honest. When Abu
Yeah.
tries to
Come on
steal the ruby and then
now.
everything-
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Come
True,
on
Debbie.
now.
Yeah.
He would get scared.
Let's put this in perspective, though. Abu is a monkey.
Oh.
So it's not, impulse control is not necessarily known in the monkey world, so to speak. So
Right.
especially not in characters in movies.
And he grew up as a thief.
True.
And monkeys fling poo. All right. Again, I'm with Debbie and the impulse control. All right.
We're going to apologize to monkeys.
All right.
All right, number 4 from the movie Spider-Man: Far From Home from 2019. I have not seen this, so I not speak to this one. When
Wait,
Peter
can I take a
gave-
guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
When he gives him the glasses.
Yes, when Peter gave up the Edith glasses to Mysterio. Look, Mitch is shaking his head. Mitch is
I just wanted to
hand
punch
on
the
it.
kid. All
Forehead.
right. I mean, I was just like, I want to strangle him. Why? Okay. Anyway, go on.
It's in
Yeah,
the
I haven't seen that one, so I cannot speak to that. But I'll probably, when I do finally get around to watching it, we'll probably be in the same thought process as you. Number 3 from Jurassic World from 2015, when they open the cage, allowing the Indominus Rex to escape.
Exactly. Why not go through the small door? Why there's this the whole time they can get in there a different way and they open up the entire thing and let the damn dinosaur out. I mean, this is 101 basic when you're caging a dinosaur. I'm just saying.
How many dinosaurs have you caged, Dennis? I want to know this.
Dennis, the
I'm ready.
dinosaur wrangler.
I'm ready to
Dennis
take
is-
on.
yeah,
I
Dino
can do it.
Hunter.
I know I can do it.
Well,
let's-
you need to wrangle a dinosaur for your little, episode
Yes.
that you have when the meat
Yes.
comes.
right. That's right. For
And
my
then tell us that they're
Armageddon.
not
He's clearly
scary.
going to go after a tiger for
my
a
Armageddon-
dinosaur to
my
wrangle.
Armageddon scene. Perfect.
All right, number 2 from the movie Hereditary in 2018, when Peter ran past the front door instead of out of it. Have not seen this movie. Has anybody seen this movie?
Neither.
No.
Scary.
I think I have.
Okay. Well, so
Not
since this-
noteworthy, clearly.
Yeah, since none of us can recall, we're going to move on to number 1.
Oh.
Which is from Titanic in 1997. When Rose jumps, wait for it. When Rose jumps back onto the ship after getting a seat in a lifeboat.
Yep.
This pissed me off. This completely
That's
pissed
what
me
pissed
off.
you off?
Well,
It pissed me off whenever Grandma fucking threw the. Apologize for my language. When Grandma threw the diamond.
Wow.
Sam is very
In the
passionate about the
ocean.
diamond.
wow, little bump comes out.
Get it, little bump. Get it, little bump.
She clearly made it out okay in the situation. We need to be
Right.
worried that she threw the diamond back into the ocean.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's-
I would have been keeping that forever.
So-
All right.
So Sam brings up an interesting point. So you're right. When Rose jumps back onto the ship, that was definitely pissed me off. But then when
Right.
she throws the diamond back in, by the way, relative to that scene, there's actually an alternate ending to Titanic, where, and I posted both of those on our Facebook page, both the original ending scene and the alternate ending scene that they ended up not using. And in the alternate ending scene, there's much more dialogue about them not wanting to throw the diamond back into the sea. Like there's an opportunity where Rose lets the diamond hunter hold it for a minute, and they have a whole conversation exchange about this diamond and whether or not why she was throwing it away and why and all that, which explains a little bit better. But I think it makes it even more offensive about the diamond being thrown in there because she has an opportunity to actually discuss it and think about it, as opposed to it just being a whim. It's this full-blown, ideal in her head about she's returning the diamond to her younger self and to Jack, who's floating down there, which I hate to tell her he's not down there. So he moved on to other movies and did really well. So
So did she?
right. So I like she's not down there. So anyway,
So what's the appropriate age to watch this film? I have some friends of mine that they actually had their 13-year-old daughters who watched this film for the first time at 13. Like that's a pretty heavy situation in a real life situation. What's
It's
the right
traumatic.
age?
It is a traumatic movie if you actually pull back and think about it.
Right.
And there's nudity in there.
Yeah, but the artistic nudity I don't think is bad. I don't think.
And
Oh, you just put a sheet up in front of the TV and watch it if you're the adult, like my mom used to do with Dirty Dancing.
No.
Yeah,
Really?
she would always pause it on VHS. We'd pause it, and this was when Patrick Swayze would get out of bed and you see his butt, and my mom would get a sheet and she'd walk up to the TV, and throw it on top of it, and watch it. And then after it was over, she'd drop it back down. We're like, what? And she's like, I'll tell you when you get older.
Did she tell you when you got older?
No, but there was a point in time in my life wherever I said, you've told me that you're going to tell me whenever you get older. So I either need to see the diary of all of the things that we're going to go over. Otherwise, it's time for you to start telling me now.
There's got to be a long list.
I know.
Right.
It was.
I think you should demand to see the list. I
know.
really do. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, Debbie, thank you so much. Coming up after the break, listener email. We asked for it and we got it. So stick around.
The Dennis George Show continues after this.
check out our YouTube channel. It's a whole new way to watch radio, where you can find each episode of our show. Just search Dennis George Show. Like us and subscribe. See you there.
Hey, this is Mitch from The Dennis George Show. If you have a question, comment, new sexual position, things I should do with Dennis's mom, or looking for a date, or even looking for a date with Dennis's mom, send us an email at podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. If we read your question or comment on the air, we'll send you a t-shirt. That's podcast@dennisgeorgeshow.com. And now, back to the show.
So maybe you've been living under a rock and you weren't aware that Meghan Markle and Harry gave an interview to Oprah. It's been just about a week now. And it blew up the palace, apparently. And I was probably a little insensitive last week.
Maybe a little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
I'm surprised we weren't hauled off to the tower.
So
We'll go ahead and apologize to the royals again.
So
And to Britain.
and I did watch it, and my opinion has certainly changed for sure. I've seen the light, so to speak. And certainly we suggested that you all write us. We suggested that you not send us hate mail or me hate mail, and some of you didn't listen.
Of course. Oh yeah.
Do they
that
get
was never
t-shirts?
gonna happen.
Do they get t-shirts?
No, the people who get t-shirts are the people who we read their comments on the air, which we will do. So we're going to read some of those. The palace did issue a statement about it. They said the whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the past few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The statement said on behalf of Queen Elizabeth, quote, "The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, they're taken very seriously and will be addressed privately by the family. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved family members." The statement added, very short statement, but that came from the Queen. More revelations this past week on what the palace and its institution known as the firm, what they knew and they didn't know. And this isn't necessarily the show to go into all that detail. There's plenty out there for you to read and see if you'd like to investigate this further yourself. But we did invite listeners to write us emails, so I do feel somewhat obligated, would be the right word, to read some of your comments, because I think that's the right thing to do. So we're going to read some of your comments because we did invite them. Corla R writes, "The royals can't see Harry is the best royal prince they've ever had. He left to protect his wife and child after begging for help and didn't get it. Harry watched his mother and father be torn apart, and he refused to let them tear his family apart by race. Tyler Perry was a godsend to them." K.A. writes, "So move to America to avoid racism. Good for them, moving to an accepting multicultural country." I think that was tongue-in-cheek, by the way.
Yeah.
Tiger
Maybe not.
T, maybe not. Tiger T writes, "It was not an interview. It was 2 hours of propaganda, no balance, unchallenged by an utterly biased interviewer. How surprising she played all the cards. Victim, race, mental health, not." Bowie C writes, "This rift doesn't bode well for Charles' succession to the king. I can see a cascade of countries in the Commonwealth leaving the monarchy because they're unimpressed with the character of the new king." Karen D wrote, "I'm glad Harry and Meghan are speaking out, especially Harry. After what his royal family did to his mother, they should be added to your apology list again." So Sam add him to the list again, according to Karen.
I added
Shingle
them.
Shingle
The royals,
G.
I added them.
No,
Yeah,
I think it's just Harry and Meghan that he wanted. She
Oh,
wanted added
okay.
to the list, not the royal family.
Shingle G writes, "Bravo, Oprah. Thank you for outstanding interview. Welcome to America, Meghan and Harry. By the way, love your show." Thank you, Shingle. Miami C writes, "Seems a bit..."
Mimi.
Oh, thank you. Good catch. Mimi C writes, "Seems a bit strange that they're bugging out over Meghan's baby. After all, no one said anything about all the incest that went on in the royal family all over history." I didn't know that was...
Whoa.
Well, yeah, because royals could only marry royals. So after a little bit, you're marrying your uncle, cousin Bobby.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they're not saying much
Bloodline,
about
yeah.
Andrew either.
Right. That's true. Yeah. There's a whole lot here. And so I do apologize too, because I was a little insensitive, was not aware, as none of us really were, as to some of their struggles, especially surrounding mental health. And I think
Sure.
we all take those things pretty seriously. In fact, here's a message you should listen to.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
Several people also suggested that we post that, which we've done. In addition to that, I should note that suicide and mental health is an issue all around the country. We have posted a link on our website,
Sure.
DennisGeorgeShow.com. And if you go to the tab on show, you will find a link to an organization called opencounseling.com. And they list all countries and help in every single country that you can reach out to with specific phone numbers for each of those countries. Often, one listener wrote and Beth pointed out that oftentimes our media is quick to provide resources with an 800 number that only works in the United States. And one thing I do want to say that a large number of our viewing and listening audience is outside of the United States. So
Yeah.
we hear you,
Thank
we
you,
see
Beth.
you, and we understand. And so that link has been posted. Clearly, we can't run through the 280 different phone numbers.
Right. For sure.
So, but we did post them all on the website. So you can do that. Denny G, you got something?
Yeah, that 800 number in the audio didn't list the last 4 digits. So it's 800-273-8255. They left the 8255 off.
Good catch. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I
So
would
our
also
website,
like to say
Yeah.
in a very brief moment that depression is real, and you should seek some help.
Yeah.
I had struggled with that as well.
I did
And
too.
life is worth living, and I hate the terminology of just depression. It's more like mood stabilizers.
sure.
Antidepressants is such an awful word. It just helps balance your brain, which is wonderful. Try it at least.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too. We hope for sure. We've talked about this not on air and on camera, but we've talked about this. That's one thing we hope the show brings is we bring some laughter to you, and we bring some refuse and some time away from things that might be concerning you or distressing you. And that's certainly one of our main drivers for doing the show, is to provide great humor and great camaraderie. And in fact, we've received a ton of emails from folks all over the world who say that this is a great laugh at a time when, some people talk about how they're in the hospital and they're struggling, and they listen to our show and it really lifts them up. And that is
Mhm.
really a greater purpose for us as well. And so, like Sam said, take this thing seriously and talk to folks and laugh
We're
a little.
human.
Yeah, we're human. Laugh.
If you
laugh
need
a
help,
little.
ask for help. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I
You're
mean,
never-
Megan was 100% correct when she said it takes so much courage
it
to
does.
ask for help. It
Well,
takes
there's a
more courage to
stigma.
ask for help than it does to just sit there
And
and
there's
deal with it yourself.
There's a stigma to it too, and we need to remove that stigma that somehow when people ask for help that somehow they're broken, and it's like, you're not broken. Like, this is a human thing, and this is fine, but you got to reach out. I mean, don't just keep it inside. We
Yeah.
all,
You're actually
everyone.
more human because you've actually realized that there is an issue. Now you just have to take the next step and find help.
That's right.
And everybody's broken.
And everybody
Well,
needs
and
help.
one of the things Megan said in her interview, and I think it bodes very well, which is that if her talk, because a lot of people have criticized them for coming out and being so personal about this kind of stuff, but Megan's take on it, which I agree completely, is if this helps the conversation, if this promotes
Absolutely.
a better understanding of mental health, which is exactly what it's done here. So, we're bringing to all of you, the 50, 60,000, 70,000 people who are listening to our show and seeing us. If it brings to you a sense of, hey, you're right. Maybe I need to reach out to that friend or that neighbor I haven't heard from, or that person who maybe, because it takes a lot. Like Sam says, it takes a lot to step out and ask for help. But you know what? We also need to be a lot more perceptive with people around us. And we need to also be reaching out to people who may not otherwise want to reach out and say, hey, I haven't heard from you in a while. How you doing? Because those kinds of things are also important too, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're never really alone. There's always someone out there for you. You just have to take the step, reach out, and find those people.
That's right.
True.
That's right. So anyway, Sam, you got an apology list for us for this week, which it always shocks my mind. And I don't know, Sam, you would have to tell us, does the list get longer every week or is it about the same?
I always I'll be honest, I was a touch worried that we weren't going to have a very good apology list because we were so good in the beginning.
Yeah.
But then the gates opened up and it started flooding.
We came off the rails.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course
So-
we did.
So we always like to do an apology list at the end of the show, just because we hope that in some way it's redeeming. I don't know that
Right.
it is, because people like Debbie tend to appear on the list quite regularly. It almost is like an all-stars list for her, which we're proud of the fact that Debbie is our all-star. She is the number one. She may not though. She may not be the number one on the list. That may be the French people. I'm not sure.
I know. I'm about to say there were a couple seasons where the French were
Yeah.
on the list just week after week after week, and
The
I'll be
French have
clear,
really
it's my
taken it.
fault. All right,
Yeah.
it was my fault. I did it.
Fine, we'll add the
Well, if
French
anyone's
now
going to take
since
it,
you
if
did
anyone's
it.
going to take it, it's going to be the French. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yep. I
Times
agree.
two.
Apologize again to them.
All right.
So the
Sam?
very beginning of the show, Dennis started with Netflix. So we are going to go ahead and apologize to Netflix. So all of us
Please
don't
don't
have to,
take away my account, Netflix.
Right, don't cancel us. Dennis, we got to apologize to Mitch because Dennis was bashing you about his horror movies. We
I
have to
don't think
apologize
Mitch
to
should get an
Debbie.
apology for that.
Yeah, you were kind of mean about it.
I don't think I was.
Debbie times 2 via Tony, and for being in the
Mitch,
closet.
let's go back to Mitch. Mitch is a big
And for
boy.
being in the closet.
Mitch is a big
Well,
boy.
we
He
put her
can
in a
handle it.
closet. That's what Tony
No.
thought.
Mitch, you're a big boy. You can handle it. You don't need an apology.
I have been told I'm a big boy.
Right. That's
We're going to
what I'm saying.
apologize to Dennis's search engine on his
Yeah.
computer because
We
it's
got-
been
listen,
violated.
We have a real issue here. We have a real issue. The stuff that is being suggested to me for me to buy
I know.
is just, it's not okay. It seriously is not okay. I'm just,
Margot
But don't
Doll.
worry, Dennis.
Yeah, Margot
We're gonna
Doll.
apologize.
Margot Doll.
We're gonna apologize to the animal crackers, but you're gonna get them, so you're gonna be comfortable.
I am. I'm buying. I'm going to show them on the next show. I'm getting animal crackers.
We're gonna apologize to the movie Armageddon because you called it dinosaurs and it was a tiger.
It's fine.
We're gonna apologize to the Earth. We're gonna go ahead and apologize to March 21st at 16:03
UTC.
for the
UTC.
asteroid.
Yeah.
What's that?
UTC.
UTC.
UTC. Yep. Yep. We're apologizing to the term daddy. 'Cause there was a point in time that you
This-
were talking about daddy.
This
and
sounds
that
like an
it- that
issue
it was
for
gonna
Sam.
get killed.
This sounds like a Sam issue. Like I don't
Okay.
think this is a show
Maybe.
issue.
We're gonna apologize to the Native Americans.
Yeah.
We bashed on them a little bit. We're gonna apologize to me for calling me Little Bump.
Yeah, but you earned it.
As you renamed yourself.
I
to Little
did
Bump.
change myself for you all.
Right.
We're gonna go ahead and apologize to Debbie because we categorized her as a woman by saying that she is the only one that knows how to crochet. We're gonna apologize to monkeys.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did, Dennis.
No, it
No, I
wasn't
did
me.
that one.
I
No,
stepped
it wasn't
up.
Dennis.
I stepped
This-
up.
Yeah, Dennis actually came to her defense.
Yeah.
Shockingly.
Oh wow, I missed that somehow. We're gonna apologize to the Royals. I was clearly writing it down. Probably. We're gonna apologize to Britain, Meghan and Harry,
Yeah.
and the French times 2.
I think
Times 3 now.
I'm glad we had to throw the French in at the last minute, but we will. France. We have a lot of listeners in France.
You
We-
re-listen. We need to apologize to the term daddy. You re-listen and you're gonna find it.
I'm going to, because I think you've got a daddy complex. I don't think this has anything to do with the show.
No, I think it's that one woman at the Who's Your Daddy woman.
Who your what, daddy?
What?
Dad-
Who's your
The
daddy?
woman who did the genealogy study and found
Yes.
out that her father.
Right.
Oh,
Her daddy was a killer.
Yeah, okay,
Literally,
you're right.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy? Gotcha. Yeah, you're right.
Welcome to. Well, yeah.
Who
I'm
is your
right.
daddy, not who's your daddy?
Oh, not like someone who lives in Indiana who's a father.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
apologize. to
That's right. No,
Indiana
Hoosiers are right.
now.
That is
Yeah.
not an offensive term.
It's not.
Hoosier-
It's not. It's
I
not,
learned
it's
that.
not.
Dennis,
learned that.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
Coming.
Well, let's
Dennis
be
coming
clear.
from a St. Louisan.
Yes.
Let's be
Is
clear.
that an offensive term?
It depends on how you use it in context.
It's not. It's not.
Right. In
Not
the
true.
context in which I used it, it's not offensive. However,
Correct.
Mitch, if I call Mitch a Hoosier, it's offensive.
Yes.
I think anybody from St. Louis using the word Hoosier in any context is offensive. For those who don't understand, literally Google the word. The
Well,
second definition.
Yeah, I have to stop Googling things like that. I need to.
Yeah, your
Hello,
Google
that's why
search
we
engine's
apologize
going
to
over
your
too many
search engine.
suggestions.
My friend
Right.
Eric keeps telling me to Google stuff, and it's like, I can't be doing that. Like, it's just
Why
not.
do you do it? It's,
Why do you listen to him?
you no longer
will.
watch the movies I suggest. Why do you search for the things he suggests?
Because at some point, I think it's going to be redeeming, like that. There's going to be merit in it, and then there isn't. It's
Okay,
disappointing.
most smartest.
It usually gets me into some sort of patent leather deal, and I'm like, I just don't want to be doing that. Just saying. It's just, yeah. Debbie's giving us the sign. We need to wrap it up, which usually means not that we're out of time, but that please stop.
He's got to go to church.
So, all right, you all. We'll catch you on the next show. Thank you all very much. Have a great week. Be kind to each other, please.
Love you all.
Good to see
Bye.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Join us again next time for another edition of The Dennis George Show. Thanks for watching.